Hi, hello. Um, there won't be any funny editing in this video because it's a very serious topic, and I want to make a separate video on it because I think it'd be a disservice just stick it at the beginning of my episode 2 review, and my episode 2 review is already 40 minutes, so, like, without editing, it's about 40 minutes. Sorry about the background noise, sorry about that. So, Sherry Pie, who was on season 12 of Drag Race, and this was before she'd even appeared in her first episode and the second episode of the whole season, was accused, and she then admitted to, basically catfishing guys. I think the number was 5, but I saw someone it was 7, into sending her weird, weird videos of like a kind of sexual weird nature, pretending to be a casting director called Alison Mossy. Oh my goodness. And I think it was a big shock to the community, and I think there was jokes about like, oh my god, now people are getting cancelled before they even started. And then it kind of, when she admitted to it, I feel like it almost, the impact was probably like everyone who's making jokes, like, actually, this isn't a joke, because it's not like, oh, she's been accused. She says she did it. First of all, I think that's disgusting. I think it's an awful thing to do to someone, and I think anything of this, it's a very predatory thing to do. I think it is. I don't think it's an overstatement to call Sherry Pie a sexual predator. I don't want to throw that word around because it has meaning, but it's more than just catfishing. When you get people to send you, I don't know, it feels different because it isn't. He's pretending to be this girl called Stacy on Tinder or something. He's pretending to be someone who can offer you a job, who can offer you these things, and is what was apparently the play was called Bulk or something like that. Something about a guy taking steroids that all these actors were like auditioning for. He was pretending to be this person who could help you in your career, and the real motive was just, oh, I want to have weird videos of you smelling your armpits and talking about how smelly you are, all these weird, not weird things, because, if you're into that, go for you, live your armpit life, but, like, for someone who isn't into that, to then be made to do that, not knowing it's for a sexual reason, it's just kind of gross. It is gross. And he put on like Facebook, he was like, oh, I'm trying to become a better person, and I've learned all these things, and mental health does play a part in it, and I think a lot of things stem from mental health, but it has become, I feel like it's swung the other way. I feel like it used to be mental health was not a thing. Like, you'll see stories about World War One, like, I've studied World War One many times, I'm doing it currently, about how shell shock, they didn't know what mental health was, so they didn't know really what shell shock was. Now I feel like we know so much more about it that people now like to blame everything on mental health. And we have to accept that sometimes it isn't mental health. Sometimes people do bad things, and sometimes people are bad people. And sometimes that's not to do with mental health. That is just a fact. And I'm not going to say it isn't to do with mental health, because I'm not Sherry Pie. I don't know them personally. But I feel like his apology did not come off as, I just didn't come off as someone who genuinely was like, I have done something terrible, and you found out, and I need to, like, I'm not saying you need to punish yourself necessarily, but people who know they've done a bad thing and genuinely feel guilty about it tend to believe they deserve punishment. Whereas he doesn't seem to believe that. He's like, oh, I'm getting treatment and all these things. I don't know. I feel like if he genuinely felt so bad about it, I feel like he'd probably have dropped out of Drag Race. He wouldn't have needed to be disqualified. He'd have been like, I'm not going to come to the reunion. I'm not going to do anything else. I'm going to leave the community alone, and I'm going to take a break. Like, that's what I feel like he would do, and that's not what I don't. Well, he might have to do that because to show the other side. This is a very chaotic video. To show the other side of things. I don't think it's okay for people to start sending him death threats and to start hating him because, like, now that this has come out, he is already going to find it impossible to get a job. Like, he isn't going to just be able to show up to a drag bar anymore and go, hey, I want to perform. He's basically going to be blackballed. Yeah, he probably will be blackballed from all drag clubs for at least a decent while. And after that time, I don't know if he'll even want to do drag anymore. I feel like it'd be easier for him to step away from the persona of Sherry Pie to avoid, you know, this stuff coming up again. And as much as I think what he did was bad, and I, you know, sometimes I doubt the mental health argument, because again, I don't know his mental health situation. It could be true, it could be not. I also don't think he deserves to be hounded. Like, it's come out, we all know about it, he's been disqualified from Drag Race. Like, we've basically got the result we wanted. Unless the others, those people, unless the victims, because that's what they are, they're victims, if they want to pursue legal action, then they can. But, like, that's not our decision to make, because we're not the victims. Like, we can't, like, this is the best thing we could hope for, because the only other option is to either delay a Drag Race by quite a while so they can re-edit all the episodes, or just not air the season, which is unfair to the 12 other girls, and everyone who worked on the season, and all the guest judges. And this is a bit of a ramble, I guess. I keep knocking the camera. A bit of a ramble, I guess, but I just need to express my thoughts on it. I'm going to... Spoilers. So this next... I'm going to talk about spoilers now, but to get over what I said, you know, I think it's a really bad thing that's happened, and I'm glad that VH1 has decided to disqualify her, and I'm hopeful that maybe she can improve herself as a person, maybe he can make himself better, maybe he can make up for what he's done. Don't harass him, because that's not going to make anything better, and I think if I was him, I would probably, as much as it seems unfair, I would probably stop doing drag. Right, so spoilers now. If you don't want spoilers, don't watch the rest of the video. So he was disqualified from the final, and I don't know if they've said it explicitly, but that basically confirms that he made it to the end. Pardon me. And that means that our top 4 has just become a top 3. Which also means that Lip Sync for the Crown isn't really going to work. To be fair, just a quick history, I feel like they probably should change it up anyway. These sort of finale formats have never lasted more than 3 years. The first 3 seasons, you've crowned them on the studio, on the day of the final, like, actual competition episode, and then you have a reunion separately. Then you had seasons 4, 5, and 6, you had them compete, you know, for a final episode, and then you had the top 3 go to the live finale / reunion to actually get crowned, even though that was filmed months and months later. Season 7 and 8 introduced having to do a personal lip sync performance, we have a custom song and all these things, and then seasons 9 to 11 had the lip sync for the crown. That means that if we had lip sync for the crown again, it'd be the first time that finale format lasted for more than 3 years. And especially with Sherry no longer participating in it, I feel like, have to change it. They could perhaps do they all lip sync against each other, which would give you 3 lip syncs, and then the jury watches those lip syncs, and instead of just declaring a winner, it's just like, I am just judging this final choice over all your lip syncs, like, generally. So that'd be 2 lip syncs per person, you know. But that's a bit less, there's a bit less stakes to that, and it feels a bit more like pottering about. I'm not sure what they replaced the finale with, because I can't think of that, but I suspect it is highly likely, because they have a couple months to actually change the finale if they want to, because they haven't filmed it yet. I suspect that is what will happen. I guess they could take whoever came 5th, and then have them take the 4th spot, but that seems a bit unfair. Also, it seems that we're not going to win, are they? Because they didn't even technically make the end, they just took someone else's place. It's sad. It's sad that now there's someone who could have been in the top 4 who isn't, because someone else took their spot, who then got disqualified. And I think that VH1 is going to be a lot more thorough with their background checks now, which sadly means that a lot of queens who possibly have criminal records or have done something dodgy like 10 years ago, you're probably not going to be allowed on the show now because they're not going to take the risk. Like, that's what I see happening. Also, some people saying maybe that they won't even be on VH1 next year. They might, they've already given away All Stars. They might either drop Drag Race, sell it to someone else, and to be fair, even if it does, it will just go back to Logo. Like, Logo is where those shows, RuPaul's Drag Race, will go if no one else wants it. Yeah, and I'm hoping that doesn't happen. And I'm hoping that doesn't transfer to Drag Race UK, because, like, there are a lot of drag queens in the UK that have done bad things in the past. Like, it's kind of part of our culture. So I'm hoping that doesn't mean that a lot of good queens don't get to be on the show now. Yeah, I guess that's all I have to really say. But I thought it was important. I put my 2 cents in. I hope, well, I don't really know, hope you guys enjoyed this video, because it was quite a sad video, just me sort of rambling about my thoughts on Sherry Pie and the whole incident. But I hope that everyone can heal over this, because I think a lot of people who weren't even involved were hurt by this. I think I feel like season 12 guys are probably quite hurt by this, because now they've lost, because they've probably grown a very strong connection with Sherry Pie, and now they kind of, if they want their careers to be okay, they kind of have to abandon Cherry, because that's not going to be good publicity if they're seen hanging out with them. So, yeah, and I think we just need to think about everyone who's affected by this, and I hope that everyone's okay in the end. It's very kumbaya ending to the video, but yeah, so thank you for watching.